Hello YouTube, I am Prepper Princess, the author of Living on Almost Nothing. If you are interested in purchasing my book, I will go ahead and leave a link down in the description box below. Do you guys like my new pink shirt? Salmon pink? Peach? I don't know. I did all my shopping for 2025 at the end of 2024, so I'm all good. Welcome to my laundry room, the only place I have available to film. Yeah, ever since I had to bring all my extra stuff out of my rental property, my house feels overly furnished. So I didn't really have anywhere else to put my desk. It was in the guest room, but the guest room is now a guest room again because I had an extra bed that I had to... It is what it is. All right, so today we always go over all these extreme money-saving tactics, okay? So it is very hard for me to do these videos because it's like you want to put 1,000 things into a video, but you don't want to make the video like 2 hours long. So it's kind of a tough juggle of what's the most important to put in there. So I'm going to try and put a few different things in this one. All right. So first and foremost, you should be making the most out of the money that you already have. So I believe that I read somewhere that the average expenses are something like $64,000 per year per household. I don't remember where I read that. I think it was on the New York Post. So, Dave Ramsey says have 3 to 6 months of expenses in a savings account. It's there for an emergency. It's not for an investment or to make money. But if you are going to have a savings account with $32,000, which is 6 months worth of expenses, I'm just typing this down here, $32,000 worth of expenses, you might as well have... Don't just put it in a regular savings account at your local bank. What I'd recommend doing is typing in Google high interest earning savings accounts. So this is something that you can typically make a transfer and get to it within a few days. Personally, I am with Capital One. I'm not affiliated with them or associated. I don't get anything for saying this, but I'm with Capital One. And as of the date that I'm making this video, they are at 3.8% interest rate. Which is better, ironically, than a lot of dividend investments that are out there these days. So if you were to take $32,000 and then multiply it by 3.8%, so you're making $1,216 per year. Divide that by 12 months in a year, comes out to $101.33. A person such as myself, I spend about $100 a month on food. People are like, how do you do that? Anyway, I'll get to that in a minute. But if I take this $32,000 and I put it in a 3.8%, and there's higher percentage ones out there. There's some that are at like 4.2, so you'd actually be making a little bit more. But we're looking at making $101.33 per month just off of money that you are going to have in an emergency savings account anyway. And if you are able to budget certain things within that $100 that you're making each month, and it does pay it monthly, so you'll just see that in your account each month on the 1st. This could potentially just pay for all your groceries. Just by having your savings account in a high interest earning account and then budgeting. And it doesn't have to be your grocery bill. It can be your cell phone and cable, or cell phone and internet, or water and sewer, or garbage and sewer, or you know what I'm trying to say. So you can set it up so that this pays a certain portion of your bills just by putting money in an interest earning account. That's number one, in making the most of the money that you already have. Now, Dave Ramsey also does not recommend credit cards. Sorry, not with you there, Dave. I'm not with Dave on the not using credit cards, but I see why he says it. Because 8 out of 10 people do not pay off their credit card each month. So I totally get why he would say that. If you can't pay off your credit card every month, you're not a credit card person, don't have a credit card. You should not carry a balance. I did also read in another article that it might be Trump, it might be somebody else. They want to make it so right now the average credit card interest rate is like 25%. They want to make it so that there's a cap on the amount that credit card companies can charge a client which is like 10%. So they want to take it from like 25, and that's 25 is not even the highest. That's just average. So it could be 35%. They want to make it so that they can only charge 10% because too many people are getting into these credit card debt cycles where they're just in debt all the time because they can't pay off their bill. I think that's a great idea. And I think that credit card companies should be more picky, and the interest rate should be lower. So if they're more picky, it's not as much of a risk. So the 10%, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. But if you, now with a credit card, personally, I have a Fidelity credit card. So Fidelity credit card, I'm pulling up my account here. Okay, so Fidelity credit card. So just go ahead and look up Fidelity credit card. I do not carry a balance. I pay it off every month. I have never paid a nickel of interest I think it said I had this card for 23 years maybe. So since I was 20 years old. And I used to have a Discover card, but they weren't willing to work with me, and I had to keep track of like, okay, 5% for groceries, 3% for this, 1%, 2%, 3%. And I didn't like keep having to keep track. It's like, just give me a steady, like 2 or 3%, and then we'll call it a day. And they just don't do that. So I switched over to Fidelity. The cool thing about Fidelity, so when you go into your like rewards, a lot of people are big on flights. I don't fly. I had a bad experience to a flight to Maui in my 20s, my mid to late 20s. Very bad experience that I don't even want to talk about. Now, whenever I even think about getting on a flight, I start getting visibly, like I start throwing up and I start sweating and like pooping, like not in my pants, but like I have diarrhea. Like it's just really bad. Like the second I start thinking about it. So I don't fly anymore. I did get on one emergency flight to Kansas, and I was drugged like you would not believe. Another thing I should not talk about, but that was thank goodness a nurse picked me up. Like my ride home was a nurse. Anyway, again, mid-20s, late 20s. That was my late 20s. Okay, anyway. So I'm not big on flights or miles. I don't even understand the miles. But with the Fidelity credit card, what they give you an option of is like, you just got to move a decimal. So first of all, they give you discounted gift card options, but I've found over time that the way I do it now is the best way. So let's say you spend $5,000 in a month. So you have to move the decimal. So $5,000 in a month, you make like $50 or $500. Just move the decimal. I don't know what it is. And you can take that money and put it directly into a Fidelity investment brokerage account, which is what I do. So over the last year, I have made, or I can't say I've put money in. It says I'm up by a certain percentage, so I would have to go in and look how much I put in. But I have now, since I have the Fidelity credit card, I have a Fidelity brokerage account, and it's just using credit cards rewards points. And I have $1,682.37 in that account. And it works just like any brokerage account. So I am invested in FXAIX, which is the Fidelity 500 Index Fund, JEPQ, which is the JP Morgan Exchange Traded Fund, and SCHD, the Schwab US Dividend Equity Account. So hey, that's not the best way to get, but I mean, it's a great way to, add into your retirement account. I think it's a really great idea. So I do that. So that's why I use it to the best of my ability, because I take these free rewards points that would otherwise just go back on. But, that's another thing. So if you decide to put it just back on your balance to your card, you can do that too. It's less. It's half as much as it would be if you put it into the brokerage. So if you put it into the brokerage, it's double what you would get if you turned it into cash and just made a payment on your card. And it's like 30% more than if you got a discounted gift card. I hope that makes sense. But that's why I use that's how I use the Fidelity card. So that's another way of making the most the most bang for your buck. And that's just getting started. That's just, that is what it is. Now, a lot of people, when you start talking about investments and credit cards, and their eyes just glaze over. I used to be the same way. Just like, I'm not listening. This is boring. I don't care. I don't want to talk about this stuff. Can you talk about saving me 50 cents on a loaf of bread? Can you talk to me about getting a free t-shirt from Amazon? Like, it's just the way our brains work. But I like to make the most of my money. When it comes to food, should I start with food? No, let's not go to food yet. One other thing that's boring before we really get into this. If you have the ability, it's getting really hard to do these days, is bank churning and credit card churning. So bank churning is when you get an offer from a bank. If you open a checking account with us, we'll give you a $300 bonus. But then you have to meet all their requirements. And their requirements are getting more and more difficult because they want you to spend a certain amount of money within a certain amount of time. But because I'm not an extreme cheapskate. I just don't spend money. It's just the way I'm wired. But because I spend so little, I have a hard time meeting those minimum spending requirements. They're like, if you make $2,000 within the first 90 days of transactions, but you have to have 12 transactions and they all have to be separate. And it's like, I can't keep up with you guys anymore. You know, it used to be just, here's a $300 bonus. All you have to do is make one transaction. Now it's like 12 within a 90-day time frame, and it has to be this many different transactions, and it has to be, and it's like, oh, I can't keep up anymore. I can't keep up. And I don't spend enough money. So, but if you have the option available and you think it'll work for you, it's a free $300. It's a free $500, whatever they're offering. Another thing that you can do is if you go into like your local bank, like, my grandma used to do this and she was good. Oh, my grandma and I used to compete for interest rates. My mom and I used to compete for savings accounts, but they both beat me all the time. Every time I'd be like, look, Mom, my account's at $42,000. She'd put money in and she'd be like, look, mine's at $42,001. Like, and that's just an example, and it's probably not accurate, but you know what I'm saying. Grandma would go into her bank and say, hey, I've been with you for 20 years, and do you have any special rates for special customers? Because I'm special on your CDs. And they'd be like, yes. And, you know, depends on how much you're putting in. And Grandma would be like, what can you get me? And if I put in 150,000, and they'd be like, ooh. And then they'd give her a number, and she's like, what about 200,000? What about 250,000? And they'd be like, the number would go up and up and up. Because when you're 94 years old, it's not really the best plan to have all of your money in the stock market. So you sort of have to start moving over to more conservative things like CDs and money market accounts and stuff like that. So it's just an interesting thing to watch. So if you're in that sort of age bracket, something to look into. Be like, do you have anything special? Wink, wink. Wink, wink. So there's something else. All right, there's a couple. Those are the last of the boring things I've got. So when I talk about food, so people are like, how do you eat on $100 a month? It's impossible. I spend $300 a week for one person. And I'm just like, what are you eating? How much are you eating, and what are you eating? Are you eating like imported shrimp from Bali and lobster from the Maldives and like Ruth's Chris Steakhouse steak brought in by a special, like, do you have a chef from Ruth's Chris come into your home and do catering for you? How are you spending? How? Like, how? I don't understand. Oh my gosh. Even with the price of food the way it is, I'm like, how do you spend that much? How is that possible? So here's my thing. I'm a coffee drinker, and that's not going to change. Like, people are like, you should try to quit. No. Nope. No. It's not going to happen. I'm not even going to try. I've been drinking coffee since I was probably 12 years old. Every day, all day. It's not going to change. If it shortens my life, so be it. Not going to change. Look, I don't drink, smoke, or do drugs. I quit smoking after like 20 plus years. I'm not giving up my coffee. It's not gonna happen. I even gave up, I used to drink Baskin Robbins Mocha BR Blast. No whipped cream. Vanilla ice cream, no whip. When I was first started buying them, they were $1.30. Now they're like $9. I stopped drinking those and started making my own home brew. So what I spend on my home brew is probably close to $30 to $40 a month. Okay, that's just for the sugar, coffee, and creamer. The creamer is the most expensive. It's up to like $6.38 now, or $5.68. I think it's $6.38 for a half gallon. That's not even a gallon. And people are like, you should switch to whipping cream and milk. And I'm like, that's twice as expensive as half and half. Like, yeah, I did have to do that, I think once or twice, when the store was out of half and half. And I was like, well, whipping cream and milk, there we go. It's double the price, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to use it. And sometimes I do add some of my powdered milk, like I'll make some powdered milk into milk, and then I'll add it into my half and half to make it stretch out and last a little bit longer. But for every cup of milk I put in, of dehydrated milk or soy milk or whatever it is, I put into the half and half, it makes the flavor worse and worse. Half and half, I'm not changing it. And I'm not changing the recipe either. People are like, you should try this. No, it changes the way it tastes. Go ahead and add cinnamon to your root beer because it's just a little tiny change. It changes the whole way it tastes and the texture and everything, the aroma. I'm very picky. I am a total coffee snob, but I've quit everything. Okay. And if my coffee costs me $40 a month, if it costs me $50 a month, I don't care. I eat one meal a day. Okay. My one meal a day usually costs $1 or less. I don't buy, you're going to get this, you're going to be like, what do you eat? I don't buy chips. I don't buy soda or drinks. I do not buy any prepackaged food. I mean, last time I bought prepackaged food, I lived in Arizona, and I've been here for like 2 or 3 years. I've been here for years now, and I do not buy, what did I say? Chips, soda, prepackaged food. I do not buy bread. I do not buy, what else do I not buy? Any sort of drinks. And they're like, no, I make all my own drinks. Lemonade, orange juice. I make my own treats. I don't buy ice cream, chocolate, like once in a blue moon now. I like stopped eating that like a year ago. So I only buy, okay, sorry, let me go back. I buy meat, that's for sure. I buy my own, I only eat chicken and steak. I don't eat pork, and I very rarely eat fish. I love shrimp. So I'll eat shrimp occasionally, but it's mostly just, steak, chicken, and shrimp. The steak, I usually get on sale for $3.99 a pound, but I don't just buy like a couple pounds. I buy like $50 worth, and I stock up my fridge, and I make it into beef jerky. Same with chicken. I buy a whole uncooked, non-Foster Farms, like non-brand name chicken, and it's like $4 a chicken. And people are like, that's impossible. No, it's not. So $4 for a chicken. I could pull, you know what? I'm going to pull one out of my freezer right now. $4.90. Don't tell me you can't. $4.90. I cook the whole chicken. I cook the whole thing. And then I put it into 4-ounce servings. Then I take the carcass and I put it in the crock pot with usually carrots, onion, and celery that I've been collecting over other meals. And I just put it in a bag in the freezer. And then some pasta noodles or spaghetti noodles. And I'll throw them in the crock pot. The noodles you have to put in at the end, otherwise they just turn into crazy stuff. Throw it in the crock pot. So you've got a chicken that is going to last 6 meals. Then you've got chicken soup that's going to last 6 meals. You've got 12 meals of your meat. Then you add a potato, a tiny little potato. Now here, potatoes are, I can get a 5-pound bag for $2.50, sometimes $1.48. It's in California. We're right above the giant growing capital of the world, basically. So potatoes are like dirt cheap. And then I personally love green beans. I like them fresh. I like them canned. I like them peppered. I don't know. I love green beans. So it's usually like green beans or carrots, because carrots are like 98 cents a pound or less. So, and that's 16 meals for like $8. It's not difficult. Most people eat more than they're supposed to, but we all know that. Who cares? Whatever. So if I'm going to eat breakfast, I don't buy cereal. I buy oatmeal, and you can still get a canister that has 30 servings. People don't go by the serving size. They'll just dump in what they think they're going to eat, like 5 serving sizes. And then sugar and cinnamon and butter, and then they mix it all up, and it's oatmeal. Well, I eat in with milk. Like, my oatmeal is just exactly 1/3 of a cup, which is what the serving size is. 1/3 of a cup. And I will typically add not fresh, because sometimes I dehydrate them, but fruits or berries that I foraged myself and froze. So it can be blueberries, blackberries, marionberries, or fresh fruit like oranges. I always have oranges. Oranges are for like 5 months out of the year. I have oranges, fig, apricots. It depends on the season. But that can be that's like the cheapest breakfast possible, and it's like less than 25 cents. Even if you were to buy your own fresh berries, you're looking at 50 cents per breakfast. And that one canister will last you a month. It's literally 30 servings. Just that plus fruit. Or, do your sugar and cinnamon thing if you want. I don't care. Whatever. And then lunch can simply be, I don't know. I guess you guys could do like a sandwich. I don't buy bread, but bread isn't what it used to be. Bread hurts my stomach now. But you can make a sandwich using your leftover chicken. And then I don't know what people eat for sides. Probably potato chips. But I would go with fruit because I get all my fruit for free. And then your dinner. It's not as expensive as it should be, And then I think that the portion control is not, it's not, for me, it's not to save money. Diabetes, heart disease, obesity runs in my family on my father's side. So I have, and kind of on my mother's side, but I have to be careful of what I eat. If I eat like a normal person for 3 days, I swear to God, I will gain 15 pounds. And that's not exaggerating. I've actually tried it before. I just gain weight like crazy. I did this one thing like 4 or 5 years ago, gained like 35 pounds in like a month. It was crazy. I can't eat like normal people. And I've gone for days without eating, and people are like, how can you do that? I have no energy drain. I'm able to continue to work out and do everything without eating for like 2 weeks straight, and I lose weight, but like it doesn't hurt me. Everybody's body is different, and I know not everybody's like that, but I simply can't eat $800 worth of food every month for one person. That's insane. Another thing that I do that I would recommend to other people, and this is true almost anywhere, it's not going to be the same fruits and vegetables and leafy greens. It's not going to be the same, but you can find something and implement it into your diet to save $5-10 a month. Some people talk about dandelions. I've put dandelions, I've mixed it in with like a Caesar salad, and as long as you clean it real good, it's okay. It's better if you like cook it. Like, it is so bitter. Like, it's really, really bitter. But I would recommend like cooking it. Like, if you're going to cook something with spinach, like just add it into the spinach with the olive oil or whatever. But you can. But here where I live, for 2 years I've been here, I have not purchased any fruits, berries, leafy greens, and now nuts. Nuts is not for the full 2 years. Nuts has been like the last year. So I foraged for my own walnuts and pecans and almonds this year. And so I don't have to do that. One of these days, I'm not really that big on fish. But we have Chinook salmon coming through the Sacramento River, which is 3 miles from my house. I can ride a bike there with a bucket and throw in a no, those are not ghosts, that's dust. But that's something, I mean, if you're near a creek or a river, you do catfish, whatever, learn how to prepare it so it's delicious. And I mean, for every 2 pounds of fish you catch, that's $8. You just saved $8, and if you can eat fish 5 times a month, that's $30. I don't know. I'm just saying food. And if you are really low on food, you can always go to a food bank, but every food bank is different. And to be honest with you, most of it's bread. So, I mean, it's a lot of bread and prepackaged food. Here in California, it comes from the stores because stores are not allowed to throw away food anymore. It's like part of the law. So they have to contact the local food bank like the day before it expires or something like that. I don't know the exact rules. And then it has to be distributed. But, there's not a whole lot of meat, cheese, dairy. It's mostly like prepackaged stuff. So frozen pizzas. No. I know you're there. I'm busy. Mommy's busy. He wants food, and when he wants food, he's going to take his bowl, which is loud, and he's going to paw it until it flips over and makes a ton of noise. I see you, Mr. Handsome. Mr. Farty McFarterson. Yes. I love you. You're so handsome. Rocky was so cute today. We went on a walk, all of us, on this trail. And this is a trail that I have never seen another person on. But there was a lady walking, and I was coming up behind her, and I gave her a big, hey, back here, because I didn't want to scare her. And usually when people see Rocky, they're scared of him. Like, they think he's a mean dog. I mean, he's brindle, and he looks scary, I guess. To me, he just looks like a big softie once you look in his eyes. And he is a big softie. I love you. Anyway, but occasionally you'll get a person who's a big dog person and they're like, ooh, can I pet him? And this lady was like that. She's like, can I say hi? I was like, of course. And Rocky's so funny. He has very different personalities with men and women. Don't you? He has very different personalities with men and women. So with a woman, he's... You are such a booger. Now I have a step stool for his dish because dogs should eat at a height. He is standing on his step stool like a goat trying to get to me. And you farted. I can smell it from here. Give me a kiss. I love you. You're adorable. You are so cute. Anyway, so with ladies, Rocky just wags his stub and does a little jump, but he doesn't jump on the ladies, but he jumps in front of them and he tries to get a kiss. He tries to sneak a kiss. And then he presents his butt for butt rubs. But with men, he's a boxer, right? So he wants to play. So as soon as he sees a man, he will nip at the ankles and then immediate play bow and then a spin. Let's play. Ankle. Play. Spin. It's adorable. It's adorable. I love you. Yes. Those ears. Oh, those ears. I just want to. Oh. Do you ever get, what's the word? Aggressive cuddles or aggressive love where you just go, like you want to get him. He's my boy. I love you. Oh, you are so stinking cute. I can't say that. Stop looking at me. I love you. I love you. Oh, those ears. I want those ears. You're adorable. You already ate. You already ate, Mr. Handsome Pants. Gosh. Just so you guys know, I'm not talking to myself as I accidentally turn off. Hey, Rocky. What you doing? You being a cutie? Yeah? You just standing on your stool? Yeah? Right there like that? Right there, huh? Standing on your stool. I love you. No, you. I love you. No, okay. Yes. Yes. It's nice to meet you, sir. So tell me, are you the best boy there is? I love you. Do you love mommy? Do you love mommy? Give me a kiss. Was that a kiss? Oh. Okay. That's enough of that. Okay, and we're back. So, after the maximizing the money that you've already got, your food bill, dwindling it down to basic foods, then it goes to your everyday expenses once you're debt free or whatever. Now, when it comes to a mortgage, most people, and this is most people, I've got to say 80%, and I'm getting really sick and tired of those TikToks of people who saying they can't make it. Look, the only thing holding people back from making it, from being able to afford a house, from being able to afford anything, is debt. It's as simple as that. Why can't you make it? Well, I've got $1,000 a month car payment, and my rent is $3,600, and my student loans are $800 a month, and I've got credit card debt. That's why. That's why. You know, the only people I feel sorry for are people who have medical debt. Because I personally, total left-wing nut here when it comes to medical. I think everyone should have free medical care. And I don't think that the taxes... We're already taxed 50% on everything that we make. If you don't believe me, look it up. Because I've explained it on this channel 5,000 times, and people still want to debate me on it. But go ahead and do your own research on how we're taxed on a million different things. I think that medical insurance should be free. It should be quality, and it should not increase our taxes at all from what we're already paying. We still pay, they talk about other countries that pay 50% in tax. Yeah, we pay 50% in tax, but it's mostly hidden. It's a lot of hidden tax. And no, again, that's not a ghost. That's like dust or something. I see an orb. No, it's not an orb. It's dust. I'm in my laundry room. There's a lot of dust in here. Okay. If it weren't for medical insurance, I would retire right now. I'd be done. I'm done. I'm done. My medical insurance is my biggest bill by far, more than double anything else. It's more than my house insurance. It's more than my property tax. It's more than, and those are my other biggest bills. It's more than anything that I pay for. It's $504 a month out of pocket, and it's not even like awesome coverage. It doesn't cover everything. And it didn't used to be like that. It used to be decent. It used to be like $150 a month, and it covered everything. And I think, personally, that if people can come into this country illegally and get free medical care, veterans should be first for free medical care, and then it should go on to the citizens. And any person who came into my house illegally should not get anything. Just saying. But medical's horrible. And I think that even medical insurance is keeping people in the poorhouse. It's got to stop at some point. It's got to implode on itself. It's got to explode on itself. It's got to change. Because our medical care, when I was a kid, growing up or whatever, you walked into the emergency and there was nobody there. Like, it was maybe 3 or 4 people. Now you walk into emergency and it's like 200 person wait. How did this happen? How did so many people get into life-threatening situations? And emergencies used to be for emergencies. It didn't used to be for when you had a cold or when you were vomiting. Like, emergency used to be life or death. I remember, is it on this arm? This arm. I think it's here. I don't know. I don't know. A while back, I fell. I don't even know what oh, there it is. I had stitches. I was fully employed, fully medical, full everything. And I fell, and I remember blood squirting. Like, it was squirting out. And I was like, oh! And I remember it was also like 105 degrees outside. Grab my arm, and then I start walking back inside, and then the black starts coming in, and I'm like, oh shit. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that word. Oh darn. I was like, oh no. And then the black was coming in. You know how, oh. And then I passed out for like 2 seconds, and I went, woke myself up, and I had to like fight to stay not passed out. I had to fight to stay awake for a few seconds. But yeah, and the blood was just anyway. So I remember I had Kaiser at the time, and I opened the phone book. Who do I call? And then it said, like, it had a list of like 5,000 different things. And I was like, I guess I'll call a nurse. And so I call a nurse, and I'm like, hi, I need stitches. She's like, what happened? And I go, I fell. And she goes, what did you fall on? I don't know. It was kind of comical. And I said, and she goes, why didn't you go to emergency? I'm like, because I'm not dying, but I really need stitches. And she goes, okay. So she schedules me for urgent care in like an hour or 45 minutes, whatever it was. It was pretty immediate. Because I guess when you need stitches, there's like a time frame that you need to do it within like 4 hours. It had only been like half an hour. I don't know how many hours it is, but I show up to urgent care, and urgent care was kind of funny because you could it was empty. It was like the emergencies rooms used to be when I was a little kid. So urgent care was empty. I walk in, blood everywhere. I've got I don't know what I wrapped around my arm, and I'm holding it because if I don't hold it, the blood just soaks through whatever I just put over it. And I'm walking in there, and it's just dripping through my fingers. And I'm like, hi, I have a schedule appointment for like now. And she's like, I need stitches. And she goes, okay. Anyway, so I go into this room with this girl she's obviously some sort of nurse, and I don't know what she's doing. She's like prepping me or something. I don't know. And I'm holding on to my arm really tight. And she goes, let me see. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to let go. And I go, I passed out last time I let go. And she goes, well, if you pass out here, you're going to be okay. And I was like, okay. And then I let go, and it's just like dripping, just squirt, squirt, dripping. And there's like this flap of skin, like not skin, like layers and layers of skin. Like you could see the nasty stuff under whatever skin is. It's like, and and she goes, yep, you need stitches. And then she does a bunch of stuff to me, and then this doctor comes in, and they put me on this thing that looks like a dentist chair, and he's like, okay, we're gonna, and then they give me all these shots for Novocaine or whatever it is, and I couldn't figure out how to sit because it's here, right? So I'm like, okay, if I just, how do I, because the arm thing was on this side, I was like, how do I, anyway, good fun story. And so but I got the sense that while I was there, they were excited to see me. Like they were like, ooh, these people always go to emergency, we never get these, this is gonna be fun. So as the doctor's doing me up, there were like 2 nurses who kept coming in and looking and leaving and coming in and looking, and they didn't need to. So they were just interested, I think, because people usually who have an emergency like that usually go to the emergency room, and I just didn't think it was life-threatening. I just thought, I need stitches. Why couldn't it have happened while I was at work instead of on my day off? It was my day off, like the one day a week I had off. Anyway, there's a story that you didn't even need to hear. That was good times. I'm a nerd. You guys don't even know it. What was I getting at? The other bills. Okay. So personally, I have Mint Mobile. Let's see. What towers does Mint Mobile use? Okay, so Mint Mobile uses the T-Mobile's cell towers for its coverage. It does not use AT&T towers. Mint Mobile operates on T-Mobile's GSM-based network, so you'll need a GSM-based phone to use it. Whatever. I've got an iPhone. I don't know what it is. Now, here's a new one that I've heard of called Tello. Now, I pay $15 a month plus tax, and people always go, it's not $15 a month. It's only $15 a month for the first month or 3 months or something. I don't know. I pay it a year at a time. If you pay it a year at a time, it is also $15 a month plus tax. So it comes out to like $180 a year, something like that. But there's this new one called Tello. So Tello.com, and it also works off of the T-Mobile networks. Now, with my Mint Mobile, I get, I think, 5 gigs and unlimited talk and text. I almost never talk. But so Tello, for the same thing, is 5 gigs plus unlimited minutes and text for $14 a month. So that saves you $1 a month, which $1 a month doesn't really give me the enthusiasm that I would need to call and switch over. But they have other plans. So you can do 1 gig of data with unlimited calls and texts for $9 a month. They also have a 1 gig 500 minutes for $8, 1 gig 300 minutes for $7, or 1 gig 100 minutes for $6 a month. 100 minutes and free texting. $6 a month. So, I like Mint Mobile. I'm happy with Mint Mobile. It's obviously not the cheapest anymore. So Tello appears to be the cheapest. You can also, now people always say, I use phones for emergencies. Well, I'm calling you out on that. That is not true. Because any cell phone will work with or without service to call 911. So your emergencies aren't really they're not vibing as emergencies. An emergency is a 911 call. But if you're the type of person who doesn't really use your phone, there you go. 1 gig, 100 minutes plus free texting. You can text all day long, $6 a month. I like it. So if I were really hard pressed, I would do that. I would do 1 gig, 100 minutes, free texting, and I would pay the $6 a month. I'd switch from $15 down to $6 a month. What is $6 a month add up to? It's less than $100. 6 times 12, so $72 plus, let's say 10% tax. So $79. So $80 a year. And then if your friends ask you, how much do you pay for your cell phone? You could be like $6 a month. And they use the T-Mobile towers. So that's another option. Rocky, come here. Quit barking. You're barking at the wind. Yeah, I see, Nala. You're a good girl. You're a good girl. Where's your brother? Why you let him get away with that? Why you let him get away with that? You want to come up here? Come here. Come on. Come on. Oh, there you go. Somebody said I made that from LGBT to Jesus. And they're like, I hope you didn't hurt Nala because you think she was sent by a demon. I am not going to hurt a sweet little innocent puppy. I love you. Yes. Oh. She's 3 now. Can you believe it? I've had her for 3 years. You're such a good girl. Oh, I love you. Yes. Good girl. Good girl. Good boy. I would never hurt my puppy. Okay. So your cell phone. So one of the things I get all the time is cable. So cable, and people are really scared to switch over to streaming. I get it. I was never really the same way because I refused to pay for cable my whole life. So here's the thing with cable is that you can buy a Roku box, an Amazon stick, Roku stick, whatever it is. And when you do that, you download the apps. You download Fossum, Stir, Pluto TV. One of my favorites is Pluto TV. YouTube. Tubi, Roku, FilmRise. All of these apps have... It's just like Netflix, okay? You understand what Netflix is. Well, all of these apps are just like Netflix, except they're free. And these apps are getting smarter, right? So you've got the pay for stuff, the Netflix, the Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, HBO Max. Those are Disney. Did I say Disney? Hulu. Those are the paid apps. You have to pay for those. And then you've got the free apps, the ones that I just mentioned, the Tubi, Pluto, Fossum, Roku, blah, blah, blah. These apps are getting smarter. So you know how Disney Plus you are driving me bonkers. There's nothing there. So Disney Plus, let's say for instance, so Disney has Marvel, and they've got the Marvel spin-off series. They've got WandaVision and Hawkeye and Agatha All Along and the new generation of Marvel, which, whatever. I like the old generation, just saying. I like Captain America, that generation, and Thor. Those are my guys. But they make their own shows, and they can only be viewed on that particular app, like Disney Plus. So you can only watch the Avengers on Disney Plus. Okay? Now these other Netflix, they have their own stuff. They've got Squid Games. I can't think of anything else, but it's only on that app. Now these new apps, these ones, the free ones, Tubi, Pluto, they're making their own movies specifically for their apps that you can only view on their apps that are free. Now, when you think of Netflix that has their own shows, but then they've got all these other movies. They've got Die Hard, The Mummy, Indiana Jones, Jaws, Avatar. I can't think of anything else. All of those free apps that cost no money have all those movies. They have Indiana Jones, Avatar, The Mummy, blah, blah, blah. So 95% of the movies that are on the apps that you pay for are free on the free apps. So 95% of the movies on the free apps and the paid for apps are the same. The only difference is that Netflix makes their own thing, like Squid Games, and you can only see it on Netflix. Tubi makes a movie, and you can only watch it on Tubi, but it's free. You see what I mean? So 95% of the stuff that you're watching on Netflix is available for free somewhere else. Just saying. The only thing that I don't know anything about, I'm going to be honest, I am very uneducated in this, is sports. I hate watching sports. I do not like sports. I would rather play sports than watch them. I can't stand that a football game lasts like 4 hours and it takes like 10 minutes for somebody to pitch a ball in a baseball game. It's like, just pitch the ball. So I don't like watching those on TV. Other people do, and I will never understand that. That's okay. But I think that there's sports, there are sports apps that are free, but I don't ever turn them on, so I don't know what they show. I do know that if you have an antenna that you can get for $15 on Amazon, doesn't matter which antenna, almost, 99% of areas will have ABC and NBC on that free antenna, and you can watch your live sports on the antenna. So do that. $15 for an antenna and $25 for a Roku box, link in the description box. And for $40, which is less than you pay for 1 month of cable, you've got free entertainment for the rest of your life. So I don't understand why, and it's not going to last forever. I'm sure they're going to find a way to make people pay for all these apps. There was one that I really liked, Peacock. I used to love Peacock. When Peacock first came out, it was free. Everything was free. And then more and more things were like, you need to get a subscription, subscription. And I finally deleted the app because nothing was free anymore. It used to be all free. So that sucks. But I think that that's what's going to eventually happen. Is that, and you have to watch commercials with these free apps. I think that they have commercials on even the paid apps sometimes now too. I'm not sure. But I don't have any of the paid apps. What I do, there's another thing. So what I do is like Prime, Amazon Prime has all those movies that are made for Amazon Prime. Well, here's the thing about Amazon Prime is that the movies that they make specifically for Amazon Prime eventually become free on Freevee. Freevee is a free app. For instance, the one with Chris Pratt, The Tomorrow War. I'll just give you that one as an example. The Tomorrow War was a made for Amazon Prime movie. And about 6 months to a year after it came out, it's on Freevee right now for free. And that's why I got Amazon Prime. I'll do the 30-day trials of whatever thing that I'm using. And all the time, before the 30 days is up, I've ran out of things to watch, and all the stuff that's left for me to watch is on the free apps. But they got me on YouTube. So I do have YouTube Premium, which, because I'm a YouTuber, is technically tax deductible. But it takes out the commercials on YouTube. But it takes out the commercials on YouTube. That is like the third time this has happened today. You know what? Forget it. I'm just going to hold it. Takes out the commercials on YouTube and saves me, I don't know how much time. Lots of time. And I'm a big watcher of the History Channel on YouTube. So without commercials, so awesome. I've also learned about the speed settings of 1.25 and 1.5. So I am going through content on YouTube like you would not believe. Like you would not believe. Yes, content. Okay, this is just, it's not gonna happen. I need to get a microphone stand or something because this thing just does not want to stick to my desk. So we've gone over cell phone. So the things that you can't really change are water, sewer, garbage. You can't really change those. I mean, there's a lot of places that will allow you to call in and ask for a smaller garbage can, but I've done that a couple of times, and the smaller garbage can saves me a whopping $4 per quarter. $1 a month. So it's not worth it. Water and sewer, I mean, you can conserve water all you want. It doesn't really make, it depends on where you live. I use about 600 gallons in the spring and summer and about 730 gallons in the winter because I use my bath as a heater. So, I use less than 1 unit. A unit is 1,000 gallons. I always use less than 1 unit per month. But I know that the water depends on where you live. So depending on where you live, if you're able to garden and stuff like that, it might be a good idea to look into buying used barrels that you can use to collect rainwater. Here, people sell barrels for $10. They're not rain barrels. They're actually olive fermenting barrels. And you just go in and you rinse them out because they've been used for olive processing, and they're super thick, and they're like 60 gallons, and they're awesome. And I've got 2 of those on the side of my house for emergencies, but I would like to get a couple more. And once I get a gutter system on this house, because I just had the roof redone in the summer, once I get a gutter system on this house, I'd like for them to go into the rain barrels and I can use those. But if they were to cost like most water barrels or rain barrels do nowadays, which are like $120, forget that. No, not worth it. But if you find something, or, you know, maybe even just stick a bucket under your your water pipe thingy, off of your rain gutters, maybe fill up a couple barrels. I mean, a gallon's a gallon, but, you know, conserving water isn't really that big. And this house that I have now came with solar. I did not pay for solar. It was not included in the price that I paid for the home. So it was like legitimately free. I paid $198 for the house, and I just got a update from, I think, Realtor that it's worth like $250, $502. Woo! I gotta sneeze here pretty soon. But that's what I mean about people spending $500,000 on the house and not being able to afford the mortgage. I paid for with cash. Is this my forever home? I don't know. Probably not. I love the town that I live in. Love the town. If I move, I'd like to stay in this town, but not in this house. Just isn't, I don't know. It doesn't feel like a forever home. It feels like a slow flip home. So maybe a few more years. But I can't really think of anything else. If you have redemption value where you live, pick up cans and bottles and just carry a backpack with you whenever you walk. I'm not afraid of a little dumpster diving. Back in the day when I was working for RH in Tracy, California, it was right across the street from a mostly abandoned shopping center, which turned into Wednesdays and Saturdays was a nightclub, 2 nightclubs, and they used to throw all their cans and bottles into the dumpster. And for a good 2 years, every Thursday and Sunday, I would go in there on my lunch, I'd jump in the dumpster, made like $200 a month. In today's dollars, that's like $500 a month. Dumpster diving once a day, twice a week, on my lunch, cans and bottles. Awesome. Here, I've been saving cans and bottles, but the cans and bottles price here sucks for aluminum. I believe when I left Livermore like 5 years ago, it was like $4 a pound. Here, it's like $1.50 a pound. Maybe I'll hold on to them, and next time I visit my brother, I'll just go to the recycling center, pay for my gas. But it is definitely about simplifying, streamlining, efficiency. You definitely want to be efficient in the money that you do have. I also would recommend don't take advice from anyone that is not a multimillionaire, like millions and millions of dollars. And also, one of the things that I'm seeing on YouTube that I do want people to be wary of is it seems like a lot more is getting a lot more fake, and it's always been for clout, but it seems like the clout is just getting like crazy, where people are giving completely backwards, not making any sense financial advice. You can 50x your money here. Ask me, I'm a billionaire. Are you really? Are you? I do like that girl, my rich BFF. I like her a lot. I believe her. But these people who are on here saying, I flipped this and I did that and I upsold this and I did this and that, and it's just like, you're 23 years old. How did you do all that? Like, there's not enough time in the day for you to have like 6 different companies and make this much money and drive a Bugatti. You're not, I don't think you're real. And drive an old car. Drive it till, it's like talking to a wall when I talk about a car. Mine's 26 years old now. It just hit 100,000 miles. It is known as the cockroach of the car industry because they don't die. 98 Toyota Camry. Honk, honk. Doot, doot. I'm hoping to get 500,000 miles out of it. People have been requesting longer videos, so here's one for you. Do what you can with what you've got. Prepper Princess out.